Hi, my name is Tim Carter. I pastor Landmark Missionary Baptist Church in Jacksonville, Arkansas. This is our apologetic and outreach ministry called IAmKOINE's.org. Koine being the term from which we get the term coin, as coins that we carry around and use for currency. It means common, and we affirm it as who we are because it is the kind of language of the New Testament. So this is a tribute to Tyndale. He was the Baptist who translated into English the first ever English translation of the Greek New Testament. And this is what he contended with in the early 1500s. And it sounds much like today, and this is what we do here. And it's somewhat of carrying on the legacy of Tyndale and his intention. But I'll read this brief statement and then we'll end this tribute. But it says, 1,000 books had they rather to be put forth against their abominable doings and doctrine than that the Scripture should come to light. For as long as they may keep that down, they will so darken the right way with the mist of their sophistry, and so tangle them that either rebuke or despise their abominations, with arguments of philosophy, with worldly similitudes and apparent reasons of natural wisdom, and with wresting the Scriptures unto their own purpose, clean contrary unto the process, order, and meaning of the text, and so delude them, and descanting upon it with allegories, that though thou feel in thine heart, and art sure how that all is false that they say, yet couldst thou not solve their subtle riddles. So Tyndale was rather exasperated, and he said that this thing only moved him to translate the New Testament. He says because he perceived by experience how that it was impossible to establish the lay people in any truth but the fact that the Scripture were plainly laid before their eyes in their mother tongue, that they might see the process, order, and meaning of the text. Well, we've enjoyed doing this now for a couple of years at IAmKOINE's.org, and this really words it out what we somewhat all knew was taking place, that a commoner would know that something was remiss or off the mark with what all these religious people are saying, but unless we know the Scriptures and see them worded out in our own language, which is what we're happy to do for people, painstakingly worded out specifically, then a person can't solve their riddles. Well, we've solved so many of the riddles now that we're not sure they can come up with any more, nor that they would dare come up with any more, because we've shown that the Bible is a synthesis, it's well organized, and basically the way he speaks to it, he says that it is according to a process, an order, and a meaning. So he sees it as very systemic, that is. He sees the Bible very orderly. And it is very disappointing to see so much exasperation placed on commoners, the people, by these religious professionals. They produce these flummoxes, they give no solutions. Like Pharisees and Sadducees in the days of Christ, they didn't work things out and then produce the solution. And by not doing that, they left the people in a quandary, and then anything people said against them, whether they were doing abominable things or they were up to things against humanity, no one could sort it out. It was so inundated. The Bible speaks of it in Jeremiah, for example. I believe it's 23rd chapter, where so many people were intentionally, deliberately saying, "Thus saith the Lord, thus saith the Lord," that no one knew, "Thus saith the Lord." No one could discern what the Lord was actually saying because so many people, much like today. So IAmKOINE's.org is a continuation of that legacy. It's a tribute to Tyndale. Translating is what Baptists have always done. The Bible today, the modern English at the time that Tyndale translated or transmitted the Greek text into, is what we do today. So we word things out in a very painstakingly simple manner, highly inflected. It's where some people once in ignorance of inflection, would say perhaps we were extreme expositors. Well, they didn't know that the language was highly inflected and that that's a grammatical reality in the Koine Greek text. They didn't know that when we expressed it according to the inflectional morphemes, that we were taking advantage of the way God wanted to communicate to people and assuring that they heard it as simply and clearly according to the process, the order, and the meaning of the text. So that's our tribute to Tyndale. And if you are out there in a riddle between, if you're hung up on one of the dilemmas out there and you're hung on one of the prongs of a two-horn dilemma, write in. We'll be happy to reply, contact through our website, through the email that's available. We haven't found a riddle yet that by our knowledge of the actual text and its highly inflected format and original meanings has not been resolved quite easily and quite effectively. So have a blessed day, and may you enjoy the fact that what we're doing at IAmKOINE's here at Landmark Missionary Baptist Church is a continuation of what Tyndale was doing as long ago as the early 1500s. So have a blessed day.